Hi, Capricorn. Welcome to your beginning of January 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I'm explaining this because I typically don't do these types of readings. I forgot to do, or I didn't forget, but the time eluded me and I didn't do your January forecast for the whole month. So I thought, okay, I can just do the beginning. So happy birthday to those of you who are born in the first half of January. And speaking of which, we have a new moon in your sign. I think it's actually going to be the 12th in certain places, the 13th in others, but in that vicinity. So that'll be your new moon, or a lot of your new moons. If you're a late degree, like after 23 degrees, 24 to 29, sun or rising in Capricorn, this will actually be in your 12th house, and then you can look to the Aquarius new moon in February 11th to be your kind of coming out party for your new moon intentions and the beginning of your chart. So we'll just see what this says. For some reason, I thought that the Empress was Temperance. Temperance and oh my goodness, look at these major arcana cards a go-go. Pick an additional card. Okay. Okay. Heart of the matter, the Page of Pentacles. This can be some kind of message that you receive about money, about work matters, perhaps even hearing back. Mercury retrograde is going to be at the end of January, but who knows? Maybe there are still going to be some people that have that same, have it early for whatever reason. The shadow period starts, I think, mid-month. But also beginning something new that's either your own business or a new job. And this is even the card of the students. It can be a card of receiving a little bit of money from something, a little lump sum of money, maybe a new relationship with a fellow earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. This would be Taurus in the past position. Maybe you're meeting a Taurus here, or you met one. The Empress is a card of abundance, of creativity, of motherhood, or if it's a man, having, the child and just the idea of bringing a child into the world. But yeah, but for money matters, that can be good as well. So anything that, if you are somebody who recently is changing jobs and you get something that can show off your creative talents, then that could be what is indicated with these cards. But it's just a good card for money in general. And as the month, of course, Jupiter and Saturn are in your second house of earned income right now. And they're going to be parking themselves there for a while. So that's very good. So as the sun goes into that house as well, come end of the month or third week of the month, that could certainly bode well for your finances. And I think Venus might even be going in there. Not sure. So definitely could be a good time for your finances. The higher message is the Temperance card, 1 foot in water, 1 foot on land. So making sure that you're balanced, you're not too obsessed with the material, like materialism. With the Empress, sometimes, it has that Venus connection. So there can be this desire for things. Usually, Capricorn people are not, it's not so much that they're greedy or that they are just so shallow that they're interested in just materialism for the sake of it. But you just have this natural connection with it being an earth sign. And you might be concerned with it for the long haul, for your future. And that makes it so that you are a little bit too, involved with it overall. So being mindful of that and reminding yourself that you are also a spiritual being, first and foremost, is important. What crosses you is the Wheel of Fortune. This actually connects to the planet Jupiter, but in terms of how this may be impacting you, not really sure. All I can say is that there might be this sense of not feeling aligned with your particular situation at the moment. So, whatever that means for your life, if you feel like, and because it's Jupiter, perhaps you feel like, oh, wow, Jupiter was in my sign and I never really took advantage of it. Well, you happen to have Jupiter in your sign at a time when the world was shut down. So the timing wasn't there. So we could look at it that way. The timing wasn't there for Capricorns. But, Pluto is still chugging away in Capricorn, and that is very transformative for Capricorn people. Not everybody gets to have um, Pluto in conjunction with their sun sign. And that can mean that whatever the attributes of your sign, that this is not the end all be all in terms of what makes you tick. Because, we can just tick off a bunch of things that Capricorn represents, but we're all evolving. And if we get out of the matrix, then we're no longer bound by those characteristics and we can feel free to reinvent ourselves and be who we want to be. So, in a sense, you could say that the astrological characteristics or template for each sign are, part of that matrix programming, and that we don't have to abide by that forever. But that's, to me, part of what the awakening process is all about. And this particular time in our life's journey, in Earth's journey, actually. So not feeling like, oh man, I really missed an opportunity here, and then using that as an excuse not to do things in the future, because you still have a lot of great stuff happening with Jupiter and Saturn, your ruler, in that second house. And by the way, not everybody is going to experience, not everybody has that in their second house at this point. Many of you may actually have it still in your first house. So it's still to come. What's coming in is represented by the Nine of Wands, and this is a card of boundaries. So maybe this is just in your life in general. Perhaps there are people in your life who are really sucking at your energy reserves, are kind of distracting you. I'm not talking about, your loved ones. I'm talking about other people. And that is hindering some project that you're trying to get off the ground, because that could be what the Page of Pentacles is all about. And also your own personal development. That could be what is going on here too. Perhaps you are a Capricorn person who really feels that Pluto energy and especially if your sun is around that 24-degree mark and in about, so maybe 20. I mean, it might even be like 10-degree span either way, but I'm just saying if we want to make it much more intimate, say between 20 and 29 degrees of Capricorn, you may be feeling the sense of transformation within you, and yet you still have these other distractions in your life that are kind of pulling at you, and you might even feel resentment towards them, but you have to lead the way. And that means that you have to set boundaries. Maybe it's as simple as you put your phone on do not disturb during your workday, if even if you're working at home. That can be where people think they have greater access to other people is because they're not in an office place. And if you're working from home, you may have to set those boundaries that can be very, very porous and cause issues. So I did pick an outcome card, but I picked an additional one because this is a card that can be about a lot of change, and there may even be some conflict. Now, we're in a 5 universal year, which is number of change. And the Five of Wands can be a number of conflict with maybe clashing egos, people that see things differently, and there can even be a little bit of aggression. But I think a lot of times the Five of Wands shows up when somebody, especially when it's coming on the heels of that Nine of Wands, when somebody has been allowing another person or people to kind of like I was going to say run roughshod over you, but it doesn't even have to be that. They might just assume that they have the right to your time no matter what. Um, what I would say also, I mean, this could even be family members, and you might feel like, oh, but they're family. And you might have to set boundaries with family. There's no question. I'm going to see. And this might even be something if you have recently given birth and you are a stay-at-home parent. Well, I was going to say stay-at-home mom, but I said, well, let's include the men too, but men don't give birth, but you know what I mean. Maybe, the mother gave birth and you're the a man who's the empress because you're staying home with the kids. I don't know. But anyway, I'll just say as an example, a woman who has given birth, but she still has her own business or is birthing a business as well. You really, in that case, have to have boundaries so that other people realize that you have multiple obligations. Sometimes it's that other people are very self centered that you're dealing with, but sometimes it can simply be that they just were not thinking. They were just looking at it from a kind of an egocentric point of view, but they meant no harm. So, in either case, being able to, I guess you could say, lay down the law to some degree can be very helpful in being able to navigate the changes that are taking place in your life. And I picked an additional card, and I have the King of Swords, and this may be something where you just have to. It's almost like developing tunnel vision, where you're not allowing other people's emotional manipulations, their desire to kind of get to you, and you sometimes that might mean that you have to cut somebody out of your life if they refuse to respect your wishes, but you're trying to do something. You may have already had a taste of success or making money, and you are stretched thin. You have this other new project going on, and you need that kind of focus. The King of Swords is all about one pointedness, of not allowing other people's distractions to derail their ambition, their what they're just burning their attention into. So it can be a very great energy to harness during this busy time for you. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. If you would like a personal reading, um, although I do YouTube readings, a lot of tarot readings, I'm primarily an astrologer, so a lot of my readings are astrology based. You can check out my offerings. I do have private tarot readings as well, but you can check out what I have to offer at the link below. Take care. Bye.